Hello, everyone. Lee's got another one for you. It is 15 teams of two, going from left to right. There will be basically it's wrestlers matched up with created people. So those are the teams from left to right. As they're eliminated, I will tell you what team they're a part of. If you want to pause it, you can to memorize the teams, but it's going to be another one of those where they're teaming together. So here we go. And yeah, like I said, 15 teams of two. And I really love some of these teams. Some of these teams I really love. But they are basically wrestlers matched with created ones. So it's going to be fun to see how this plays out. And there's a lot of teams to memorize, and we're starting here with Tatanka, which I don't think I've ever used. I don't think I've ever used him before. I don't know a lot about him. Some of these legends were a little bit before my time, so I'm not familiar with them. But, yeah, it's good to see him. I mean, I don't think I've ever had him on here. And we'll see who he's facing off with. And I love going back to this one. It is my favorite one. The others that came after it, especially the 20, was just downright terrible. But I don't think it gets better than 19 at this point. 14 and 16 are great as well. I think those three are my favorites if I had to choose. But we're going to see who he's going to be facing off with. And it is going to be the Kingpin. Okay. So this is a really good matchup. I'm actually curious to see how far the Kingpin can get in this thing. It's going to be a lot of fun. And a pretty cool custom entrance. But let's get the party started. As these these are part of two different teams. And we'll see what happens here. Usually the wrestlers don't have as good as a chance as the other team. And that's why they have a partner that's created. So each wrestler has a partner that's a created superstar. And number 3 is Mr. Blonde. So Mr. Blonde is number 3. Of course, Mr. Blonde is a psychopath. He is an absolute psycho. But I thought he was one of the best parts of Reservoir Dogs. That's kind of a crazy movie, and I wouldn't say it's for everyone. And it's not because of the brutality of it, because honestly, it's not one of Tarantino's most brutal ones. It's just because how it's made. I don't think it's for everyone. It's very dialogue heavy. It's almost like a play. And Dennis is number 4. From It's Sunny in Philadelphia. I really love what Lee did with his partner. Which was, I could go ahead and say some of the teams. His partner was Rowdy Piper, which was featured on Sunny in Philadelphia. And Negan is number 5. Yeah, I'm curious to see how far Kingpin will go, because he is a super heavyweight. He is a giant. He is going to be tough to get out. But who knows with this one? I mean, he could leave now. All it takes is one really good charge or a finisher to take him out. And number 6 is the Ultimate Warrior. Yeah, the two teams that I like the best, well, there's 3 teams that I really like. Andre and the Baby is great. Rowdy and Dennis, and Hellboy and Kane. I thought those 3 were definitely my favorite. You also have Big Boss Man and RoboCop. That was a pretty good team also. I like them all, but those were my favorites if I had to pick. And Ultimate Warrior, oh my goodness. So Kingpin is the first one done off of his team. And he's teamed with Vader. So that's a good super heavyweight team. And Hellboy is number 7. Look at Negan going after Mr. Blonde. Some of the created ones, they don't have a good overall. I don't think Mr. Blonde does. But some of them have a fantastic one, and that's why they have the advantage, even though they're teaming up with another wrestler. And Torment is number 8. And there goes Hellboy. Goodness. Some big eliminations kicking things off. And that means he's only got Kane left, which is still a good pick. Mr. Blonde going after Dennis. Undertaker is number 9. And Mr. Blonde is done, so he didn't really do much of a job there. Trying to see what. Okay, yeah, he's with Mr. Perfect. So we got 2 Misters there. Mr. Perfect and Mr. Blonde. Imagine Mr. Perfect in Reservoir Dogs. And Torment has been eliminated. And Ultimate Warrior is going to join. Man, Tatanka even left. I missed him. Goodness gracious. Already going crazy here. And, it's not looking good for Mr. Blonde and Mr. Perfect here, because Mr. Perfect has just arrived. This is going to be hard to keep up with, especially if I start missing. And there goes, so that's the first team done. The Mr. team is finished. They're going to get 15th place, and I can't even keep track of everyone. It's just 1 minute they're all in, 1 minute they're all out. It's crazy how that works. And there goes Negan. So Negan's finished too. Dennis is just standing here alone, and I'm shocked that he's the one standing, because he is probably one of the weakest of the creations. And Big Boss Man is in the house. And there goes Dennis. I knew he wouldn't last long, but to see him survive through all of the people getting eliminated like crazy. I mean, it was raining cats and dogs. I mean, and Triple H is number 12. So, yeah, I like Big Boss. He's a team with RoboCop, which I was watching RoboCop the other day, and I didn't finish it. It's like for some reason I cannot watch all of that movie. There's constant issues with me trying to watch. It's like always constant interruption. Like, I tried to watch it on Blu-ray, and the disc went 50 minutes in and then stopped working. And it won't work after 50 minutes. I look on the back of it, there's no scratches. There's no dents. What in the world's going on here? And then I tried Tubi. Tubi won't load to the 50 minutes because I don't want to watch the 50 minutes that I started watching first. So it's like, really? And speaking of the devil, here he is. But it's like, really? And Hagrid is number 14. So that's another completed team. We've had, I think, about 2 so far. But forgive me if I miss something. Especially at the rate that, when they all want to fall out at once. That makes it very difficult. And Dr. Manhattan is number 15. So 15 is Manhattan here. Everyone's favorite blue person, minus that band that everyone likes. I forget what they're called. And H stays in. Hagrid's going to be a tough to get out. He's just such a giant, and he's caused problems before. I will never forget. I think me and my friend did that one where it was Hagrid and Goldar. It was just such a hassle. And Keen is number 16. The Keen is in the house. I really like Keen. I think he's one of my favorites in a fighting game, any fighting game. He's definitely one of my favorites. And British Bulldog is number 17. A little bit before my time again. Who is he teamed up with? He is teamed up with Negan. So we got a couple teams that are facing perhaps an elimination. And you know what? I'm not going to worry about the places, especially number 14. Because that's how I'm going to get lost easily. I need to just focus on the top 3 teams that remain. And Kane is here. I didn't know what... Lee probably wanted the current Kane, but I thought this would be better. I just thought this would be better. And Boss Man is done. I think this version is better, and it matches with Hellboy 100% better. And there goes Manhattan. That's shocking. That was, usually he does really well. Not today. There's a lot of super heavyweights in here, so anything can happen. No one stands out from the crowd, that's for sure. And there goes RoboCop, so yeah, that team is done also. The cop team, Big Boss and RoboCop. Well, Big Boss is a security, isn't he, or corrections? Yeah, I think he's corrections. I don't know. He was before my time too. I'm sorry. I don't know everything about some of these older ones. And British Bulldog is done. And that's another team gone. Him and Negan were a team. I wanted to see some of my favorite teams do good, but one of the cop team is already done. And like I said, Lee put these teams together, did a really good job. And if you all have any suggestions, just let me know. I'm all for ears here, especially on this one. But you have to understand, I only have about 200 people, and they can't cross accounts. Goldberg's in the house. I'm not a big fan. I call him Oldberg. And, you know, I've never been a Matt Riddle fan, but I will say this. I love that confrontation between the two. Where he says, "Oh, I'm not your bro," like that. Which I hate when Riddle says bro. I just hate that in general, you know, usually. But, you know, I got so sick and tired of Oldberg. I got so sick and tired of it. And Vader is number 21, and H is done. Triple H. So, yeah, Vader's in the house, and it's not Darth Vader. So, a lot of teams have had both people already in. But there's still a couple teams I don't think have had either one yet. One team in particular, and there goes Britt. It's hard keeping track. There's one team in particular that definitely has a big advantage going into this. So the fact that they haven't arrived yet is terrifying. And Zoidberg's 22. They haven't even arrived yet. And they're both super heavyweights, and it's one of my favorite teams. Hagrid's done. Oldberg somehow got rid of him, and that team's over with. So that was Ultimate Warrior and Rubius. And there goes another team, Hellboy and Kane. So all those teams are gone. And here, finally, we're getting this team. So I think this is the last team. Nope, it actually isn't. There's another team we haven't seen yet. But, I mean, Big Baby and Andre. Oh, my goodness. That is a nightmare for the other teams. And especially since one just got in and the other one still hasn't arrived, that's even scarier. And King is finished, so his team's done. Him and Tatanka. And Charles Bronson, 24. So I think all teams are officially in. Yeah, I believe all teams are in now. At least one member or more for all teams. Bronson had the last team. It was him and Razor Ramon. Andre is 25, so that may be a breath of fresh air for the other teams, since he will not be after 25. And oh my, these two may not work good together. Oh man, this and Oldberg is done. One half of his team is finished. Yeah, it looks like Andre and the Baby are not working out. And number 26 is Shaq. And 27 is Rowdy. So finally we're getting him. We lost Dennis earlier in this. And it was a crazy loss to lose him that early. And it looks like Shaq and Goldberg are going to be done. They were a team. And it's official. Didn't expect Shaq to leave that early, but he did. And Rowdy his team is done. So his team's over with. Him and Dennis. And The Miz is 28. He was the only one that's not a legend that was a part of this list. So he's a future one for sure. But and I loved when he had a title run. That was my favorite time with The Miz. When he had that title run, that was a crazy title run. And Zoidberg going after Andre. Andre doesn't have overall on his side. That's the only issue he had going into this. And look at Zoidberg. What a jerk. Doing push-ups after what he did to the Giant. What a degenerate. And Razor Ramon's 29. So we still have one more left. Who is going to be number 30? And we'll see who goes next. We're getting closer to the end. And Razor, is he going to get Zoidberg? And the Baby on the ropes. And Zoidberg's been eliminated, so there goes his team. His team is done. Zoidberg and Britt. Number 30 is going to be Tyler Durden. He's been number 30 before. And I'm not saying where he's from. I'm not supposed to talk about it. That's what I've been told. So I'm going to honor their request and not talk about a certain club. Hey, it could be any club. I didn't say what kind of club. We're down to, well, there's one completed team left from the looks of it. And there goes the Baby and Andre. Their team is finished. So Andre and the Baby, their team was really good. And, I thought maybe that they could pull it off, but Andre really didn't do a lot. Zoidberg somehow beat him and then did push-ups right after. So we are down to, I want to say 4 teams since we have one team still completed. Bronson and Razor Ramon. And Vader's been eliminated, so that was Team Vader and Kingpin. So now we are in the top 3 teams. So we're going for bronze, silver, and gold. Bronze, silver, and gold. Bronson and Ramon really have a chance here. They really have a chance. They had the numbers in their favor for sure. Both of them did. Probably the best out of every team. And I think The Miz is going to be done here. He's going to get 3rd place, I think. Him and Dr. Manhattan take bronze. So we are down to who's going to be silver, who's going to be gold. It does not look good for Tyler Durden here. And I hope what would be cool is, and I think Lee mentioned it before, if it comes down to a team actually, which at this point is a possibility. If it comes down to the two that are on the same team, we talk about a twist. And that's possible at this point. Because Razor is a part of this team. With Bronson. What a matchup this has been. And good picks by Lee. I also think I missed The Undertaker. Oh, wow. So it looks like Razor Ramon's not going to be in the final two. And we're not going to get that. But that's okay because we're going to get two teams left. And it's down to Team Bronson versus Team Durden. And, of course, Durden's partner was Triple H. Now, that kind of stinks. And Tyler Durden... number 30. He's going to try to lift out Bronson. I don't know if Bronson's a super heavyweight or not. He doesn't look like it, but I thought he may be. He may be just listed as one because they go by the weight and not what you look like. So you could say you're 500 pounds and be skinny as a twig, which is so weird. At least on this one you can. Not on the other ones. I believe you can just adjust your weight and be a super heavyweight no matter what size you are. But I don't know if he is or not. He might not be. And look at Bronson, eliminates Tyler Durden. So it is done. Bronson and Razor Ramon win. Big win for Bronson. Bronson came in like 24, I believe. Maybe 23. I think it was 24. That's pretty impressive. I will give him a little bit of credit there. I will give him a little bit of credit. Not a lot of credit, but a little bit, because coming from 24 and winning the sustain is hard, especially when you go up against number 30 like you did. And I think they maybe number 30 has a better overall. I forget. They may have the same, but Bronson, unfortunately, you're not going to WrestleMania. Hate to be the burden of bad news, but solitary confinement might be an option. Because you know how you love to beat on people. And Bronson's a great movie. Bronson is a great movie. I highly recommend it. It's based off of the actual Bronson, but what a wonderful job done. So Lee did another great job picking these. And Bronson and Razor Ramon are going to win it all. But I really wanted to see, I think Lee suggested it before, wouldn't it be cool if it came down to the same team? And we almost got it. But Tyler Durden eliminated Razor at the last minute there. That was kind of a bummer. I kind of wanted to see it, and I don't think we're ever going to get that close to seeing that ever again. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, but I think the likelihood is very low. But anyway, Bronson is not going to WrestleMania. And thank you, Lee, for these great picks, and I hope everyone enjoyed it. And once again, another great one here. And there will be more of these to come. So I will see you all later.